The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. These words from Marcus Aurelius aren't just inspirational, they're a blueprint for mental strength. But how do we actually improve our thoughts? In the next few minutes, you'll discover practical Stoic techniques to reframe your thinking, manage emotions, and find serenity in chaos. We'll explore how these ancient wisdom can solve modern problems, from workplace stress to relationship conflicts. Are you ready to master your mind? Have you ever felt like your mind is a battlefield, with thoughts waging war against your peace? It's a common experience, one that can leave us feeling trapped in a maze of our own making. But what if I told you that this very mind, often our greatest source of suffering, could become our most powerful ally? Let's explore the fascinating world of cognitive distortions, those sneaky thought patterns that shape our reality in ways we might not even realize. These mental tricks, evolved to protect us, can sometimes become our worst enemies. They're like well-meaning friends who always give bad advice, influencing our decisions and emotions in ways that often do more harm than good. Take catastrophizing, for instance. It's that voice in your head that turns a minor setback into an impending disaster. You miss a deadline at work and suddenly you're convinced you'll be fired, homeless, and destitute by the end of the week. Or black and white thinking, where life becomes a series of extreme highs and lows, with no middle ground. You're either a complete success or a total failure, with no room for the nuanced reality most of us actually live in. These thought patterns aren't just annoying mental quirks. They have a real, measurable impact on our brain chemistry and decision-making processes. Research has shown that persistent negative thinking can actually change the structure of our brains, reinforcing neural pathways that make it easier to fall into these harmful thought patterns in the future. It's like carving a path through a dense forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier to follow it becomes. But here's where things get interesting. The ancient Stoics, those wise philosophers of old, had a practice that seems counterintuitive at first glance, but might just be the key to rewiring our brains. They called it negative visualization, and it involves deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that just catastrophizing with extra steps? But bear with me, because this is where the magic happens. The Stoic practice of negative visualization isn't about wallowing in fear or anxiety. Instead, it's a controlled exercise in facing our fears head-on, examining them in the cold light of day, and realizing that even in the worst-case scenario, we have the strength to endure. By regularly practicing this mental exercise, we can actually rewire our brain's response to adversity. It's like building mental muscle memory. The more we practice facing our fears in a controlled, rational way, the better equipped we become to handle real-life challenges when they arise. But how do we put this into practice? How can we start to identify and challenge our own cognitive distortions? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your thought patterns, especially in stressful situations. Are you jumping to conclusions, overgeneralizing, discounting the positive? Once you start to recognize these patterns, you can begin to question them. The next step is to challenge these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or feelings? Am I looking at the whole picture, or just focusing on one small part? What would I say to a friend who was thinking this way? By questioning our thoughts, we start to loosen their hold on us. But perhaps the most powerful tool in our arsenal is learning to distinguish between what we can and cannot control. This is where the real payoff of Stoic practice comes in. By focusing our energy on the things we can influence and accepting those we can't, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of worry and frustration that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a mental battlefield, armed with nothing but your thoughts. The chaos of life swirls around you, threatening to overwhelm your senses. But what if I told you there's an ancient arsenal at your disposal? A set of tools so powerful they can transform any challenge into an opportunity for growth. Enter the 4 Stoic virtues: prudence, justice, courage, and temperance. These aren't just lofty ideals from dusty philosophy books. They're practical weapons of mass construction, forged in the fires of ancient wisdom and tempered for modern battles of the mind. In a world obsessed with quick fixes and instant gratification, these virtues might seem quaint, even outdated. But don't be fooled. While self-help gurus peddle overnight solutions, the Stoics offer something far more potent: a timeless toolkit for building unshakable mental resilience. Let's start with prudence. Imagine you're facing a high-stakes decision at work, with the pressure mounting and your thoughts racing. This is where prudence steps in, your mental Swiss Army knife for careful decision-making. It's not about playing it safe. It's about seeing the whole chessboard before you make your move. Prudence helps you cut through the noise, focusing your mind on what truly matters. It's the voice that asks, what's the wisest course of action here? When everyone else is losing their heads, prudence keeps yours firmly attached. Now, picture yourself in the midst of a heated argument. Emotions are running high, and it feels like you're speaking different languages. This is where justice, our second Stoic virtue, becomes your translator. It's not about winning the argument, it's about seeking fairness and understanding. Justice helps you step back and see the bigger picture. It whispers, what's the right thing to do here, not just for me, but for everyone involved? By cultivating this sense of fairness, you're not just resolving conflicts, you're building stronger, more meaningful relationships. But what about those moments when fear grips your heart? When self-doubt whispers that you're not good enough? This is where courage, our third virtue, steps up to the plate. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the strength to face it head-on. It's the voice that says, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Courage empowers you to confront your challenges rather than avoiding them. It's the fuel that propels you out of your comfort zone and into growth. And let's not forget temperance, our fourth and final virtue. In a world that often feels like it's spinning out of control, temperance is your anchor. It's not about suppressing your emotions. It's about responding to them thoughtfully rather than reactively. Temperance is the deep breath you take before responding to that inflammatory email. It's the pause between the impulse and the action. By cultivating temperance, you're not just controlling your impulses, you're mastering them. Now, imagine these 4 virtues working in harmony. You're navigating life's challenges with the wisdom of prudence, the fairness of justice, the bravery of courage, and the composure of temperance. This isn't just theoretical. It's a practical approach to life that has stood the test of time. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example. As Roman emperor, he faced challenges we can scarcely imagine: wars, plagues, and political intrigue. Yet he remained a beacon of Stoic wisdom. In his personal writings, later published as Meditations, he reminds us that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a call to action for each of us to cultivate these virtues in our daily lives. And it's not just ancient Romans who found value in these principles. Modern figures like Tim Ferriss and Ryan Holiday have openly credited Stoic virtues with enhancing their resilience and decision-making. Even psychological studies have shown that practicing these virtues can significantly reduce stress and improve mental resilience. Ever wondered if you could sculpt your mind as easily as you build muscles at the gym? Well, get ready to flex those mental biceps because we're about to step into the Stoic gym. This isn't your typical workout, though. Here, We're not lifting weights, but lifting our spirits, strengthening our resolve, and building resilience that can withstand life's toughest challenges. Now, you might be thinking, mental exercises. Sounds great, but how do I actually do that? It's a fair question. After all, developing new mental habits isn't as straightforward as following a workout routine. It takes consistency, dedication, and a willingness to push beyond your comfort zone. But here's the exciting part. Just like physical exercise, these mental workouts can literally reshape your brain. Let's start our training session with a Stoic warm-up. The morning reflection. Imagine waking up each day and before diving into your to-do list, taking a moment to set your intentions. This isn't about planning your day down to the minute. It's about preparing your mind for whatever challenges might come your way. You're essentially priming your brain to respond rather than react to the day's events. But how effective is this practice really? Well, modern psychology backs it up. Starting your day with a clear focus has been shown to positively impact your mindset and decision-making throughout the day. It's like giving your brain a roadmap for navigating the twists and turns ahead. Now, let's move on to our main exercise, journaling. This isn't your typical Dear Diary situation. We're talking about a powerful tool that can literally rewire your brain. Research has shown that regular journaling can enhance cognitive processing and emotional regulation. It's like a mental workout that strengthens the connections between different parts of your brain. But here's where it gets really interesting. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that expressive writing can lead to significant improvements in mental health. It helps process traumatic experiences and can even reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. Imagine being able to lift the weight of past experiences off your shoulders simply by putting pen to paper. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but I'm not much of a writer. Don't worry. This isn't about crafting the next great American novel. It's about honest self-reflection. And the best part, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's like building any other muscle. Consistency is key. But what if I told you that discomfort could be your greatest teacher? Enter the Stoic technique of voluntary discomfort. This might sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. By intentionally exposing yourself to uncomfortable situations, you're building mental resilience. It's like training your mind to handle life's curveballs before they're even thrown. This isn't about subjecting yourself to unnecessary hardship. It's about controlled exposure to challenge. Maybe it's taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, or having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Each time you do this, you're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you think. You're expanding your comfort zone, one small discomfort at a time. As we cool down from our mental workout, let's talk about the evening review. This is your chance to reflect on the day's events and your responses to them. It's not about beating yourself up over mistakes. Instead, it's an opportunity for growth and learning. By reviewing your day, you're enhancing your self-awareness and promoting continuous self-improvement. Psychologist Donald Robertson emphasizes that these practices not only help in managing stress, but also contribute to a more profound understanding of oneself and one's reactions to external events. It's like having a personal coach, helping you refine your mental game day after day. Now, you might be wondering, does all this really make a difference? The answer is a resounding yes. These daily mental practices aren't just feel-good exercises. They're rooted in the science of neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that with consistent practice, you're not just thinking differently, you're actually changing the structure and function of your brain. Picture yourself on a ship in the midst of a raging storm. The waves crash against the hull, the wind howls, and visibility is near zero. How do you find your way when everything around you is in chaos? This is where the Stoic compass comes into play, guiding us through life's turbulent waters with a powerful principle, Amor Fati, or love of fate. Now you might be thinking, love my fate. Even when it's terrible, it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? In our modern world, we're obsessed with control. We plan, we prepare, we try to anticipate every possible outcome. But what happens when life throws us a curveball so wild, it feels like we're lost at sea? This is where the ancient Stoics had a radical approach that might just turn everything you know about stress management on its head. Instead of fighting against uncertainty, they embraced it. They understood that true power lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering our response to them. Imagine finding calm in the eye of the storm, not by controlling the winds, but by adjusting your sails. This is the essence of Amor Fati. It's about accepting what comes our way and finding opportunity in adversity. But don't mistake this for passive resignation. It's an active, empowering stance that can dramatically change how we experience stress. Research backs this up. A study published in the journal Cognitive Therapy and Research found that individuals who practiced acceptance strategies reported lower levels of anxiety and stress. By embracing uncertainty rather than fighting it, we can actually reduce our stress levels. It's like magic, but it's science. But how does this work in practice? Let's explore a powerful Stoic technique called premeditation of evils. No, it's not about dwelling on the negative. It's a mental rehearsal that prepares us for potential challenges. Think of it as a fire drill for your mind. By anticipating difficulties, we're better equipped to handle them when they arise. It's like packing an emotional life jacket before setting sail. This practice has been linked to increased preparedness and reduced anxiety. When we face our fears in a controlled setting, we realize our capacity to endure. It's like building mental muscles, preparing us for whatever life might throw our way. Now, you might be wondering, does this really work in extreme situations? The answer might surprise you. The concept of Amor Fati has been applied in some of the most challenging circumstances imaginable. Consider the accounts of World War II prisoners of war who used this mindset to cope with their captivity. By accepting their circumstances, not liking them but accepting them, they were able to maintain a sense of agency and purpose despite their dire conditions. They found meaning in their suffering, demonstrating the incredible power of the human spirit when aligned with Stoic principles. But you don't need to be in extreme circumstances to benefit from this approach. We can apply these principles in our daily lives by focusing on our circle of influence. This concept, rooted in Stoic teaching, encourages us to concentrate on what we can control rather than what we can't. It's about recognizing where our efforts can make a real difference. Studies have shown that adopting this mindset leads to increased resilience and proactive behavior. When we stop wasting energy on things beyond our control, we become more effective in areas where we can actually make an impact. It's like redirecting the wind to fill our sails instead of exhausting ourselves by trying to calm the entire ocean. The beauty of this approach is that it's not just philosophical theory. It's backed by neuroscience. Research using fMRI scans has shown that individuals who embrace uncertainty exhibit greater activation in areas of the brain responsible for managing stress and emotional responses. We're literally rewiring our brains to become more resilient. So how can we develop this Stoic compass in our own lives? Start by practicing acceptance. The next time you face a challenge, instead of immediately reacting, pause. Ask yourself, can I change this situation? If not, how can you accept it and find opportunity within it? This simple shift in perspective can be transformative. Next, incorporate premeditation of evils into your routine. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing potential challenges and how you might respond. This isn't about worrying, it's about preparing. You're building mental resilience, one thought at a time. Finally, regularly reflect on your circle of influence. Where can you make a real difference? Focus your energy there. You'll be amazed at how this can increase your sense of agency and reduce feelings of helplessness. As we reach the end of our Stoic journey, imagine yourself standing at the summit of a mountain you once thought impossible to climb. The view from up here is different, isn't it? You've learned that true strength isn't about controlling the unpredictable winds of life, but about mastering the sails of your own mind. Remember, as Epictetus wisely said, philosophy doesn't promise to secure external things for us. Instead, it offers something far more valuable, the power to shape our internal landscape. This is where your real strength lies. In every moment, whether faced with triumph or adversity, you now have the tools to respond with wisdom and grace. But don't let this be the end of your journey. The path of Stoicism is a lifelong practice, and every day presents new opportunities for growth. Why not take the next step and join a Stoic community? Participating in events like Stoic Week can provide invaluable support and resources as you continue to integrate these principles into your daily life. So, are you ready to embrace this challenge? To become the master of your mind and architect of your peace? The choice is yours, and the time is now. Your Stoic practice begins with your very next thought.